let's move on over to the Denver Broncos. And as we dive into the Denver Broncos 2025 NFL season, we're going to do a full game-by-game win-loss projection way too early for the Denver Broncos. Now, the Broncos may have had some struggles lately, but 2025 looked like it might be yet another tough year in the Mile High City, and let's break it down. Guys, let's just be honest. I think 2024 was a complete fluke for the Denver Broncos. Everything they stood for was a complete fluke. The progression of that team was a complete fluke. But week number 1, they do start off the season strong, and they beat the Tennessee Titans in a season-opening win over the Titans to start on a positive sign early. And this is where it just starts to fall apart right off the bat. Right off the bat here, week number 2, they travel to Indy. The road trip to Indy does not go as planned, and the Broncos dropped their first game of the season, giving them a 1-1 record. And then week number 3, they travel to LA to take on the Chargers, facing Jim Harbaugh. And the Chargers on the road is always going to be a challenge for many, many years to come. And the Broncos come up short yet again. But week number 4, they're back at home to face the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Broncos get a nice bounce-back victory over the Cincinnati Bengals. We are not going to hear that a lot this season because the Broncos are just not very good, right? And then week number 5, they travel to Philadelphia Eagles. That is the loss. A tough road game in Philly versus a top-tier team, and it is a loss. It is what it is. They're not very good. Week number 7, and then week number 6, they're back at home, but the Jets take advantage at Mile High Stadium, handing the Denver Broncos yet another loss. And then they travel back to the East Coast to take on the Giants, and the road struggles continue with the loss in New York. It is tough. Another loss. And then week number 8, yet another tough home game ends in defeat versus the Dallas Cowboys, the Super Bowl winning Dallas Cowboys, right? Then week number 9, they are taking on the Houston Texans. That is yet another loss. They fall at home yet again. And then week number 10, they finally get back on their winning ways. The Broncos get a much-needed road victory versus a division rival versus the Las Vegas Raiders. But then week number 11, they're back to losing ways. Arrowhead Stadium is a tough place to play, and the Denver Broncos, again, in this divisional matchup, they lose yet another game, giving us a well-timed week 12 bye week to get rested, to get regrouped, to figure out what they're doing with their lives. And oh, by the way, they come back, and they're on the road versus the Washington Commanders, and they lose yet again. And then they're back at home versus the Raiders as another loss. They travel to Green Bay to miss yet another loss. And then week number 16, they lose yet again. Week 17, they lose yet again. And then week 18 means nothing for either of these teams, and they do beat the LA Chargers come week 18, giving them a 4-13 record to end the season. It is a rough way to end 2025 after a promising 2024, but they showed some flashes of promise throughout the season, but consistently, both home and away, they're just not a very, very good team. The division remains brutal, and the rebuilding efforts will need to be accurate to climb out of this role. So, guys, is 4-13 what you can be expected out of Denver? Can they turn things around this season yet again? Well, what are your thoughts? Let me know down in the comments down below.